So think about this for a second. Your life, it's like you're building something, right? Maybe a house, maybe something even bigger. But what are you building it with? What's the plan? Well, today, we're going to look at this incredible, ancient blueprint for life's architecture. It's all waiting for us in the 19th chapter of Proverbs. So yeah, let's just dive right in. Okay, so right out of the gate, verse 1 gives us the absolute cornerstone. And you know what it is? It's not about money. It's not about being super smart. It's integrity. That's the foundation. And this really sets the stage for everything we're about to explore. We're asking, what's the real foundation for a good life? Well, this chapter says it's all about solid character, period. All right, so let's start our tour. Think of this as the first wing of a grand gallery. This whole section is about the bedrock, the absolute foundation of a life built to last. We're talking about our choices when it comes to knowledge, money, and, well, telling the truth. Okay, let's get into the details here. First up, verse 2. It's basically saying that being super eager without knowing what you're doing, that's a bad mix. Just imagine someone running as fast as they can, but in a totally dark room. I mean, they're gonna crash, right? That's what it means to hasten with your feet. And then verse 3 shows us what happens next. When our own dumb choices mess everything up, what do? We blame someone else, sometimes even God. It's like setting your own house on fire and then standing outside, shaking your fist at the sky while it all burns down. Wow. So this next group of verses, they don't pull any punches when it comes to money and friends. Verse 4 just lays it out flat. Rich people have tons of friends, but a poor person gets left alone. Then verse 6 kind of tells you why. Everyone wants to be around powerful people, people who give out gifts. It's pretty straightforward. But then verse 7, man, that's the real gut punch. It says even the family of a poor person hates him. He can be shouting for them, and his friends just walk further away. It's a really harsh but honest look at how money can totally warp relationships. So check this out. The chapter brings up false witnesses twice, and you gotta pay attention to the change. In verse 5, it says a liar will not escape. You can picture someone getting caught in a net, right? Trapped. But then look at verse 9. The warning gets way more intense. Now it says a liar shall perish. The consequence got amplified. It's not just about getting caught anymore. Now it's like the floor of the courtroom just crumbles away beneath him. The message is crystal clear. If you build your life on lies, you're building on absolutely nothing. Okay, so after all those heavy warnings about lies and fake friends, verse 8 kind of gives us a breath of fresh air. It shows us the alternative. It says that getting wisdom is actually an act of loving your own soul. Think about that. It's not just about being smart. It's like the best form of self-care you can practice. The visual here is just perfect. It's like someone carefully taking a golden key called understanding and unlocking something precious inside their own heart. Okay, let's keep moving. We've talked about the big external foundations like integrity and honesty. Now we're going to go inside. We're looking at the inner architecture of our lives, what's going on in our homes, in our hearts, and maybe most importantly, how we handle our temper. These next two verses give us this really cool contrast. First, verse 10 says that giving luxury or power to a fool is just a terrible idea. It doesn't fit. It's like putting a king's crown on a court jester. It's just going to fall over his eyes. It's a disaster waiting to happen. But then, verse 11 shows us what real strength looks like. And it's not about being in charge of other people. It's about being in charge of yourself. Being slow to anger, being able to forgive someone who wronged you. That's glory. It's like if someone splashes mud on you, instead of freaking out, you just calmly wipe it off and move on. Now that is power. And speaking of power, verse 12 gives us this amazing, vivid picture. It's a tale of two moods. A king's anger, it's like the roar of a lion. I mean, it's terrifying, it's a threat. But his favor, that's like the morning dew on the grass. It's refreshing, gentle, something that brings life. It's just incredible how one verse shows you the life and death stakes of a leader's mood. So now the focus shifts right into the home. And verse 13 talks about two kinds of stress that just don't quit. First, a foolish son who is just a ruin to his father, like a constant wrecking ball to the family's foundation. And then there's the contentions of a wife are a continual dripping. It's not some huge disaster, right? It's that constant annoying drip, drip, drip that just slowly drives you insane and wears you down. But right after that verse about trouble at home, verse 14 gives us this beautiful flip side. It says, look, houses and money, sure, you can inherit that stuff from your family. That's just stuff being passed down. But a truly wise and sensible partner, the verse says that comes from the Lord. It puts a good relationship on a totally different level, way above any inheritance you could ever get. You can't get much clearer than verse 15. It's like a simple math equation. Step 1, laziness. It makes you fall into a deep sleep, which is really just a metaphor for being totally out of it and unproductive. And step 2, an idle person, well, they're going to go hungry. It's a direct line from doing nothing to having nothing. Okay, this next bit is like a rapid-fire round of cause and effect. Let's hit them quick. Verse 16, keep the commandment and you keep your soul. Simple as that. You're guarding what's most precious. Verse 17, have pity on the poor, and it's like you're lending directly to the Lord. Imagine that. Your kindness is a direct investment with God. Verse 18, discipline your son while there is hope. It's about guiding them before it's too late. And finally, verse 19, a super angry person, they're just going to keep paying the price for it, falling into the same trap again and again. And now we're entering the final part of our tour. We've seen the foundation, we've looked at the internal structure, so now it's all about the active choices we make, the materials we choose, and the methods we use to actually build the life we want. Verse 20 is all about playing the long game. It's telling you to listen to advice and accept instruction now so that you'll be wise when you're older. It's like investing. The wisdom you collect today, that's what you're going to live on tomorrow. It's like you're gathering these little gems of advice your whole life, and then one day you look around and realize you've built a throne out of them. Now, verse 21 is, well, it's deep. This might be the most philosophical moment in the whole chapter. It says, yeah, we've all got tons of plans in our hearts. We're always scheming and dreaming. But at the end of the day, it's the Lord's counsel that will stand. It's like we can draw up 100 different blueprints for our life, but a gust of wind comes and blows them all away, except for the one true plan that was there all along. So what makes a person truly valuable? Verse 22 cuts right through all the noise. It says what people really want in another person is their kindness, their loyalty. And then it just says it. A poor man is better than a liar. It's not about what you have, it's about who you are. The image of a balance scale says it all. A simple, poor but honest guy outweighs a rich liar every single time. And building right on that idea, verse 23 talks about the ultimate life security system. It says that the fear of the Lord, which really means a deep respect and awe for God, leads to life. And whoever has it can rest, satisfied, and won't be visited with evil. It's like being able to sleep soundly in a warm, safe house while a crazy storm is raging outside, knowing you're completely protected. Okay, get ready because verse 24 might have one of the most memorable and kind of hilarious images in all of Proverbs. It's talking about extreme laziness. So lazy that a guy buries his hand in a bowl of food and then can't even be bothered to lift it to his mouth to eat. I mean, can you believe that? He did the hard part. It's such a perfect picture of someone who starts something but has absolutely zero will to finish. And here we are, at the end of the chapter with a final rundown of judgments. Verse 25 points out that some people learn from words, but others, well, they only learn when they see someone else get in trouble. Verse 26 talks about the absolute shame of a son who mistreats his parents. Just awful. Verse 27 is a sharp warning. Stop listening to advice that just makes you dumber. And finally, verses 28 and 29 bring it all home. The wicked mock justice, but judgment is coming for them. It's like the final gavel comes down, making it clear that every single action has a consequence. So, there you have it. We've gone verse by verse through this incredible blueprint. We've looked at the foundation of integrity, the inner walls of self-control, and the tools of wisdom. The plans for how to build a strong, meaningful life, they're all laid out right here, clear as day. And that brings us to the one last, all-important question. This blueprint, it's ancient. It's been tested for thousands of years. The design is proven. But now, choosing the materials, making the plan, and doing the hard work of building, that's all on you. The blueprint is in your hands now. So the only question left is, what are you going to build?